Welcome back on day 2 to the evening session, and as the last of our pool games before we get into finals for tomorrow, we'll have the A finals. But first things first, we've got 2 boys single A games. First up, Koutu versus Aparima College. That is Pool B. And then from Pool A, we've got Stratford High School versus Aquinas College. Looking forward to bringing it to you shortly. Live and exclusive from Fly Palmy Arena for this boys single A pool match. We've got Koutu versus Aparima College. Andrew Horrocks finally get to be alongside Josh Thompson. We were just talking about 2018 when you made the final for the single A girls. What do you think is so special about the single A competition as opposed to the double A?
I think it just gives the schools smaller schools opportunity to show their talent, because obviously we've seen a lot of talent come out of small schools, such as the Shula sisters from Te Aroha, Rochelle Fruli out of Manukura, who we lost to in 2018, and it's given a lot of smaller schools opportunities to showcase their talents.
Right, so we're going to get into the team lists for both teams. First up for Te Koutu, number 7 Aroteri Douglas Caruana, number 9 Pereiki Bennett, 11 Tanukura Tahana Waru, number 13 Hawaii Leach, 14 Tekoha Henare, 15 Tiki Hunuia, 16 Matariki Rika, 17 Taiki Scott, 20 Jeremiah Hunia, 21 Tiao Marama Bennett, 23 Keanu Mapapalangi, 24 Hemi Gardner, head coach Jacob Tautari.
And for Aparima College, we have Saxton Heathtree, number 20, number 22 Caleb Diprose, 23 Gabriel Robertson, 24 Brandon Bevan, 25 Aidan Turner, 27 Kalani Grimwood, 28 Quake Webster, 29 Karen Tohiariki, and number 30 Marley Grimwood, and coached by Brooke Grimwood.
Now Josh, I think you've probably got the best job in basketball at the moment. You were just over in Japan for the 3x3.exe coaching, and what have you got coming up next?
So there's a few things coming up. So next week, obviously, with the Shit Cup for 3x3, so that's all the NBL talent. And then after that, I fly off to Turkey for FISU World University Games for 3x3. So I'm kind of lucky this year after COVID. So it's been a long time coming, I guess, with all the travel and restrictions, and just like this tournament. Talking around the stadium today, a lot of people are just happy that it's happening, after the 2 years. And, it's sad to see the guys that hadn't been able to play over the last 2 years, but no, it's really good to see it actually happening, and it's good to catch up with people they haven't seen for a while. So, yeah.
So how they got there for Te Kura o Te Koutu. Didn't qualify in 2019. Didn't have the challenge, obviously, 2020, 2021. Finished 5th in the A North Island Premiership. And then results so far, beat Hornby High School 82-73. Lost to Hato Paura College 59-66. And lost to Ngātaetia Wharekura 71-83. For Aparima College, located in Riverton. So a bit of a trip for them. Also didn't qualify in 2019. But came first in the A South Island Premierships. And results so far, lost to Hato Paura College 73-91, lost to Greymouth 64-104, and lost to Hornby 70-96. So, given where they are on the table, Josh, this could actually end up being a pretty tight battle.
Yeah, so, it's a little bit interesting. Aparima finishing first at qualifying, but, as a tournament setting, you have to show up on the day or the week, and some results just don't get away, but it's always good experience for schools that haven't qualified since in 2019, so it's good to see new schools arise.
So the Katakaro are ready to go, and we're underway here. Te Kura o Te Koutu with the ball first, as we see man-to-man defense here. Haven't seen a lot of that actually on the show games today. Teams in the double A at least, a bit of zone as we see an early foul call. Just trying to conserve tired bodies.
Yeah, it has been interesting. I have seen a lot of zone over the first day, because I've only been here for a day. Only got here this morning, but it is interesting to see the different strategies of teams early in the tournament, and it's actually good to see some match-up defense for Aparima. It's a tough rebound there from Dip Rose.
Shout out to TC Tom Cowie for tuning in. Apparently result has been incorrectly submitted, and Aparima beat Greymouth by 40, not lost by 40, so I will pass that on to BBNZ to have a look. Lovely spin move and finish. And Te Kura o Te Koutu getting us underway on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it was a great move from Hina there, getting into the paint.
And already a kuru whiwhi toru for Aparima College. And it's been interesting on day 2. The scoreboard has been flowing a lot easier than it was on day 1. Players a little bit less nervous about getting into this. Yeah, looking at some results and watching the live stream, it did look like a few players were overwhelmed, but they seem to find their rhythm today, which is good, and it's good to watch. Lovely little trip to the hoop there, and a beautiful finish with the left hand from Leach. Hits the foot, and away comes Leach to the hoop. And again, good wall up there from Aparima College. As away comes Aidan Turner. Here is Quake Webster, was a part of that Southland under-23 team. Got to do the score bench a couple of times. I was actually really impressed with how they played. Yeah,
obviously they were led by Tom Cowie. Shout out to Tom Cowie.
I think Tom averaged like 40 a game in that.
Yeah, I think he did. But it was good to watch, though. He played very well. He was really good. And it looks like Quake Webster here has some good game to him. He opened up with a 3, and there he is, getting to the rack, getting to the free throw line.
Shooting some kudu tutukus which is always nice to see as we have another look at it on the reaction replay. Nice little in and out dribble there to get around the secondary defender and draw contact.
Big shout out to you for your te reo, throwing it in there every now and then. Been really impressed.
Oh, cheers, Josh. It's always good to have a kōrero of you and learn a bit more. And it's actually been quite fun as well, chatting to different people about it.
Yep.
Learning a lot more. Again, another Kura Toru is short on that one. And the tūrapa is going to go to Quake Webster again. I feel like we're going to be saying his name quite a lot in this game. As he takes it to the rim. And the tapa said no. So the tūrapa is going to go the way of Te Kura o Te Koutu. To the hoop. Contact. Gets the tūrapa back. And one. Beautiful finish from Hawaii Leach.
Yeah, he's been really impressive early in these early stages, getting to the rim and getting his own rebounding there. Probably would have preferred the first one to go, but doesn't mind padding his stats, so does he?
Can't convert though. They're on the Kuru-Kautuku. And so touch as many hands as it possibly could, and it's going to be Te Kura o Te Koutu ball still. Just assesses the on-ball situation. Fakes the handoff and beautifully we're there with the reverse. Pleasing to see Josh not just trying to stay on the same side of the hoop.
No, yeah. Tough finish. You know, use the rim for protection from the oncoming defenders.
And off the tūrapa situation, we're going to see a hara. Of course, you're quite involved in the 3x3 scene. How have you seen that change players' skill sets as they become more comfortable with that and getting more touches of the ball?
Oh, I just feel like they've developed more one-on-one skills. As you look at the game today, international, it is, you know, a lot of on-ball screens, playing off on-balls, shooting a lot of threes. So I think it helps develop the skill set and also the decision making of players, because you don't have 24 seconds to make a decision, you have 12. And I think also playing through contact is the biggest adjustment that players have to make when playing 3x3.
I found it quite interesting because obviously we had the first iteration of the women's North Island 3x3. As we said, the Kura Toru for Te Kura o Te Koutu is good. But the women's, because it was their first year of playing it in that 3x3 setting, they were trying to play more of trying to 5v5 actions in the 3x3 setting, whereas with the men, who'd had a few more years and a few more opportunities to play it, they were a lot more comfortable within the 3x3 actions. So looking forward in future years, there's another Kura Toru, this time for Aparima College.
Yeah, it was really good to see that they had the women's actually incorporated in New Zealand this year. Was trying to get in Dave Huxford's ear about maybe bringing it down south, but we'll see.
I think they should, personally. Great extra pass there, couldn't be corralled. Out the back flick.
Ooh,
and nearly.
He tried. That was.
He went for the Superman leap, and that's going to be Te Kura o Te Koutu ball. But yeah, I'd love to see, as we have another look at it actually. Will we? Yeah, out the back door. I would love to see a South Island women's opportunity as well. I think anytime you can give both genders equal opportunity to grow their skill set, and I think we're starting to see a lot more 3x3 players who are specialists within the 3x3 side as well. So men and women, it would be cool to see as another hara there on Aparima College, and so they're going to go to the Kuru Tautuku.
Tahana to the line, is that correct? Yeah, it is.
And a little bit nervous there on the live stream.
Yep. I always felt that I was more nervous playing on the live stream than I was in any of the other courts at the tournament. To be fair, I don't think we had live stream when I was playing, so.
Well, it's such a strange atmosphere because I try to tell people at home, like, this live stream court doesn't actually reflect just how immersive this tournament is. You walk 5 minutes through those doors and you're just within 9 courts and you can just turn around every direction and you're going to see a great game of basketball. I mean, I don't know if you'd call it an upset, but watching Auckland Grammar go down to New Plymouth boys this afternoon, that was a great game. Ended up being a 9-point game.
Yeah, and you know, if you haven't been here before, then you don't really know, and you just watched it on the stream, you don't really get the feel of the atmosphere and how massive this actually is. Great find there by Webster.
Here's Webster no good on the Kuruwhiwhi Toru. But yeah, it's strange. It's such a different vibe to a rep tournament.
Yeah, oh, for sure. You know, we were just at, I think the last tournament I seen you was at the D-League under 23s, and that just doesn't have the same feel as what secondary school nationals has.
Yeah, something about representing your school, isn't it, and the community where you're from.
Yeah.
We're going to see another backcourt violation and doesn't save it, so that's going to be a baseline inbound. Always one of my favourite things here, Josh, is just getting to observe what coaches are running in these situations.
Yeah.
Steal something.
I heard you and Sammy talking about it yesterday. You know, you always like the old good quick hit baseline inbounds plays. You know, I think Kura here are playing a zone, so there's just a quick in and a little flare screen or rub screen.
Great take there from Leach. Aparima tried to get the block in there. Try and take a charge, went straight round them. And a beautiful finish. Here is Webster to the hoop. Hits the tupper but can't convert on the M1. He's still going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, I've been quite impressed with Webster here. You know, he's not overly quick. He's just getting to a spot and using his, you know, his frame. He's quite wide frame, so he's got a strong body, and he's just getting to the line.
Great finish there on the first one from Quake Webster.
And I've been really impressed with
converts the second.
With Leach as well on the other side. He's managed to get to the rim.
Yeah, Waiki Leach represented Rotorua at the under-17 Nationals this year. One to watch as we're going to see a foul called. Thought there was potential for that to be a jump ball situation. Not given.
I also think, shout out to our guys in grey, you know, it wouldn't happen without them. But also, yeah, I think learning to adapt to different refs is a skill as well at this tournament, because we have so many refs.
I always find it interesting, the different ages of the refs. Was very fortunate with Harbour to go over on an AAU trip, which Tom Cowie was actually a part of. And it's all older former players who are in their like mid-40s, early 50s, who are reffing us here. It's just kind of cool to see the next generation coming through and cutting their teeth at a tournament like this. Yeah,
we're not just seeing the youth of today's players, but we're seeing the youth of our referees grow as well at tournaments like this.
Just confirming that Aparima College did in fact beat Granville High School, so shout out to Geordie in the BBNZ office for that classic stitch up. Cheers, mate.
I'm glad that was you, not me.
Let's be honest, anything that goes badly, people are just going to blame me, so why not? Webster back to the line already.
Yeah, he's just finding ways to break this defense down and just get into the paint, absorbing contact. he would obviously like to see the ball go in and get the free throw, but you know, he's managing to get to the line.
This is both, but great putback short on that one, and rebound Hemi Gardner. Josh, the great thing about these tournaments, of course, is the coming together of many different minds and personalities. Who are some of your favourite people to catch up with at these tournaments?
Oh, you can't go past Ray Cameron. Saw him before. He's doing a great job up there in Whangarei. Obviously, he brought the boys first time, I think, back in 2019.
Yeah, brought them back.
Yeah, and this year the girls. He's with the girls. So, you know. And then also, you forget how many great coaches coach high school basketball in New Zealand. You know, guys that coach in the NBL give back to their school that they've been to. Obviously, you see Trent Adams is down here, lingering around. So guys like that you can just, that have been around a lot longer than myself and you, and just, you know, learn and hear old war stories, I guess, about when they played.
I think my favourite one is obviously Phil Jones coaching his son Hayden at Waimea College. They just took down Rangitoto from the looks of it. I had to leave 4 minutes ago so we could come and have a korero together in the commentary box, but no, he's done a very impressive job down there as well.
Oh, yeah. And then, obviously, that's a family trip, that one. Is Ava and Maya both play for Cat Jones. So, you know, they got the whole family down up here. So, that's always good to see. It's a beautiful move there by Henare, who opened the scoring for us. So, Aparima just need to shore up their matchup defense on their own ball, because Kura or Koutu are just getting to the rim whenever they like.
Foul called there on Marley Grimwood. I'd love to see a look at that to see what he actually did wrong here, because I thought he walled up. Jumped sideways. Easy call.
Yeah, even that's a skill in today's game. Jumping vert.
That's what Roy Hibbert got, like, what, 100 million for, just being
being
able
vertical.
to verticality, and then was out of the league within 2 years. There was rumours of him actually signing for the Breakers, I think, in 2019.
Yes, I actually did see that in the rumour mill, which would have been awesome. Shout out to the Adelaide 36ers.
Oh, what a win that was yesterday over the Phoenix Suns. It's funny how the casuals... Did you see this? Yep. It's pretty funny. Still only a preseason game, but...
Yeah.
I think it's cool, and it just shows how much basketball in this part of the world has developed.
Yeah.
Right, here come Aparima College.
I love the fact that both teams are playing man-to-man. You know, staying in trying to stay in front, slide their feet.
Almost a perfect position there for Aparima, but no, I'm with you. Anytime you can see the fundamental, especially when it's full court, man-to-man.
Yeah.
Teams able to maintain that. It's impressive, and it's not easy to do.
No, for sure. And it's also interesting watching what they do on on-ball screens, because how big is on-ball screens in today's game?
As we see it go off glass there on the Kuriwhiwhi Toru for Te Koha Henare. Oh, what a finish there from Quake Webster. But no, I'm with you. Everything seems now to come out of the pick and roll. But I'm always a big fan whenever I see off-ball actions.
Yeah.
Trying to free up shooters. Another Kuriwhiwhi Toru is good. And I tell you what, both teams in this first quarter not being afraid to let it fly.
Yeah.
Great up fake, good pivot. And just need a little bit more spacing here to Aparima College.
Yeah,
trying to find Quake Webster, finally get it to him. Long there on the Toru attempt. And 30 seconds to play here in quarter number one. And here's Webster all the way to the hoop. Lovely up fake
Great
and
finish.
reverse layup. Perfectly executed.
Yeah, had Leach ready to run down on a LeBron James block and gave him a little rondo.
So Kura Koutu are going to have the final shot here in this boys A pool match. As they get a countdown from their bench. Chance here to shoot it. Oh, lovely little hesitation dribble. But leaves that short on the attempt. So quarter number one here, Kura Koutu 26, Aparima College 16, Josh Thompson. Firstly, we're going to go with Aparima. What adjustments do they need to make to try and cut into this deficit and maybe even get themselves a lead?
Yeah, I think they just need to shore up their on-ball defense. You know, talk about what they want to do. Are they switching? Are they dropping? And offensively, just give the more spacing to work with. Obviously, Quake Webster's doing what he can to create, but I think if they space the floor out and take some of the open shots that they've given up, you know, that's what they need to do to get back in the game.
And then for Kura Koutu, what have they done so well to create this 10-point lead early?
I think just getting to the rack, and obviously they had 2 back-to-back threes there off their on-ball, and I think just using the on-ball and a bit more of Henare and Leach coming off downhill has worked for them quite well. So, you know, they're doing what they need to do to stay in front, and yeah, hopefully we see a lot more free-flowing. Obviously the points are quite free-flowing for both teams, you know, quite high scoring for us here, so which is good.
As we take a little look at, always a big fan of the orange swan dry.
Oh, yeah.
It goes hard.
I think Stephen Adams loves a good orange swanee as well on his fishing trips that he has. So,
as we see some of the teams that have just finished saying hello to the camera.
yeah, that's the Kaipoi High School girls. They just would have finished up playing my school that I teach at, Kashmir. So,
Not involved in any high school stuff this year, Josh?
not too much. Obviously, I started at Kashmir and started term 2, so I was happy just to take a step back and just watch.
As Quake Webster there with a beautiful spin and finish. What about Tauhi League? Did you do any Tauhi League this year?
I was one of the assistants for the mainland Paokai. So, yep, was involved with the Tauhi League. What a great league. Great for the women and for inspiring girls. You know, I saw you had an interview with Tessa Boagni yesterday, talk about how some of the girls watching said they saw her on TV playing for the league, so that was amazing too. So
Webster there, long total attempt. Yeah, it's awesome. I was just chatting to Tessa off air, and then I was like, oh, I may as well just interview you and have the same conversation again on a camera. But to have eloquent speakers like her as role models for the next generation, I think is a pretty cool thing.
yeah, obviously she talked about her time here at Nationals and how there was a league, but it wasn't like it is today. So, you know, they've done great to incorporate it to what the men do, so which is amazing.
Long Toto attempt there, and that's still live. As it's the old-fashioned rule, everyone it goes over the top of the backboard, and people think, oh, okay, it's dead, but it's got to actually hit something as part of this support structure. As here's Quake Webster,
Great.
Lovely pass.
He just looks like he has a lot of time out there.
Well, he made it so simple for Aidan Turner, and I've said all tournament long that Jacob Fotu's got the best hair, but I think Aidan Turner is going to give him a serious run for his money. That is one of the most flowing mullets I've ever seen, as the heart there is committed by Aparima College.
You gotta love the curls with the mullet too.
Great pass there from Webster.
Yeah, it just flies out there quite nicely, the mullet there, when he jumps.
Something I could never grow. and will never grow.
I have had kids at school say I should get a mullet, but I'm not for that.
So Hunia there converts the second. Still a 7-point lead here for Te Kura o Te Koutu with 8 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Here is Webster out of the on ball, somehow splits it to the hoop and hits the tapa, and the tūrapa is going to go the way of Te Kura o Te Koutu. Again, a lot of tapa on that attempt. And here come Aparima, kick ahead. Webster with the left hand and one.
Great finish.
Superb finish from Quake Webster as we have another look at it. Leaked out early. Beautiful catch. And if Chase Claypool could do that, I'm sure the Pittsburgh Steelers probably would have done a lot better yesterday morning.
First pick. First pass in the league. First pick. So that was a great look though. Great outlet. And that's a tough finish. To catch it in stride with a defender on you. Yeah.
Well, you can see why he's a Southland Sharks development player. It is always awesome, isn't it, seeing the youth that's starting to come through in both the men's and women's sides, getting opportunities. I saw a few high school players playing this year.
Yeah, we had Maya Jones play for us for the Tauahi League, which was amazing.
Here is Webster and gets called for the travel. Just got caught up a little bit. Looked like he was trying to set up a swing pass to the weak side. Little handoff there up the top. Oh, great step through. And in and out. That's always tough. Korowhiwhi Toru attempt. And it's going to end up being Aparima College ball. Chance here to make this a one-possession game.
Yeah, after Te Kura o Te Koutu just missed a couple of easy ones there to put them up, and keeping Aparima in the game with a few misses. So, you know, I think both teams are doing a good job at creating an advantage. It's just, you know,
well, it's one of those things, right? It's do you coach outcome or do you coach decision making? Because I feel like the decision making has been right. It's just at the moment the execution isn't sticking.
No, which I think both teams are, you know, getting what they want. As you see, Hunia getting the paint
and one there for Rika. Lovely finish on the reverse layup. And always good to see a Jedi Rat's tail back as well.
Yeah, there's a few old hairstyles that seem to be arising from the depths.
Tessa Bennett at Harbour always talked about the blonde streaks as being a mince and cheese haircut.
When you actually think about it, that's right. You know, when you eat a mince and cheese pie, it looks like a mince and cheese, you know, the blonde streaks.
So here's Webster for Aparima College, down 6 minutes 30 to play. Well defended, and it's going to be tipped out, so still 13 seconds on the shot clock.
Te Kura o Te Koutu extending beyond the three-point line, which we like to see, putting pressure on the offense.
Well, it's part necessity as well, isn't it? Just seeing how much further out these kids can shoot these days. Here is Webster. Great little up fade back to Webster. Korowhiwhi Toru attempt is no good, and that's rebounded there by Tahana Waddle. Nice little hezzy step through.
It's a great
and
finish.
Off the left hand. A beautiful Kuru Whakau.
Really like the look of Leach here early. You know, he's been aggressive. He's got to the hoop pretty much when he wants to off this on ball.
And another Kuruwhiwhi Toru there for Hawaii Leach. Well, it's awesome, isn't it? I always think of Jack Andrew as someone who I'd never even heard of before Single A's in 2019.
Yep.
Played extremely well, then got a chance in the showdown for the Otago Nuggets. And now he's an ANBL development player.
Yeah, two-time, you know, they won the showdown when he was with the Nuggets, and then obviously he was with the Nuggets this year and won the NBL title. So, product out of St. Kevin's.
Yep, that's
in Oamaru, I believe.
Had one of the great scouting departments in 2020, did the Otago Nuggets.
Yeah, they did. And here's our man Leach on the free throw line.
Misses on the first. Kuru Tautuku. And converts on the second. So Takura Otakotu now opening up a 12-point advantage halfway through the second quarter. Here is Quake Webster. Nice crossover. Almost got all the way to the tapa. But the harder is going to be called there on Takura Otakotu as we have another look at it. Doing so well, just stepping through players and then an illegal reach. But deemed that he was still dribbling at the time, so it's going to be a baseline inbounds.
You know what? Another thing I do like about coming to secondary schools are the uniforms.
Yeah, what's your standout so far that you've seen from the different schools?
I actually do like the Takura Otakotu uniforms with their Kuruwai on the side. I really do like that one. I'm a big fan of a little bit of old school as well. So I do like Rangitoto's, you know, pinstripes. I'm a big fan.
Have you seen St. Pat's Silver Streams?
I do, yes.
Those are clean.
Those are nice.
As you see, a Kuruwhiwhi Toru for Gabriel Robinson. No good there, hits tapa, and the tūrapa is going to go the way of Aparima College. Great kick ahead and finish for Aidan Turner. And that flowing mullet. Always feels a bit better, doesn't it, running back with one of those after you've scored a basket?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Aparima slowly just, you know, grinding it out here, getting back into the, well, they're in the game, but they're, you know, crawling back the lead.
Flicks it out, turnover there. Here come Takura Otakotu. And good transition defense there from Aparima College. Just to slow this down to a half court set. And no good there on the jump shot. But you keep hustling hard enough, Josh, and you're going to get another opportunity to score.
Yep, and that's Hemi Gardner there. He's been setting some big screens that have freed a lot of lanes up for Takura Otakotu. But then he's just a couple fouls. Just get his hands in there as we watch the replay here.
Again, Webster draws hands. And it's one of those things, isn't it, where he can probably actually see himself on the big screen as well that's straight in front of him. That's probably why he's trying not to look in front of him. But yeah. How can you try and get players off of those sides or attacking from the other side so they're less comfortable? Because the last couple of possessions, he's been really comfortable coming off that left side, bringing it back to the middle.
Yeah. So
again, they make the adjustment to stop him from doing that.
Yeah. Maybe icing the screen to the baseline. But then those are also things, have you practiced those things?
That's
You
the
know what
biggest
I
thing,
mean?
right? I remember when I
Yeah.
was younger, I was like, why haven't these teams worked on these things? And
Yeah.
you get into coaching a little bit, and you figure out, oh, I've only got X amount of hours in a week.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a little bit tougher. As we're going to see out of bounds here off to Kura to Koutu. So it's going to be Aparima College. Ball, as we see substitution on the court. Tiki Hunia back into the game.
Yeah, he had some nice takes to the hoop. Obviously, he had a 3 early in the first quarter.
Oh, what a move, Quake Webster.
Oh, that's
That was outstanding.
a little behind the back.
The easy Kuru Whakau.
And don't you just love it? He used his left hand, you know, player that can use both.
Oh, anytime you can
is
see that.
essential in today's game.
I wonder if they're going to put an on-ball arai there for Webster. He says, no, I'm just going to jack it anyway from the Kuru Whakaturu. Another arai there for Te Kura Te Koutu. And they go off the Papamuri for the easy basket. And just reaching there for the hara. As we have another look at this. In and out, and then behind the back. That's not easy to do.
That is not easy. In traffic. And he almost threw it too far. Had to drag it back with the left.
Yeah, it is quite funny now that they've actually found the correct cabling for that big screen. That now we can see everything in all its glory.
Yep. You went enjoying the aqua fish kind of screen that
it was
they had
very
on before?
tranquil, actually. I mean, it's a little bit colder in here than it is in the other court, so it kind of added to it. But I was far more a fan of the aqua fish than I was seeing myself on the big screen. Never a fan of that. No one needs to see that at home. And I don't know if you can pick it up at home. There's a lot of on-court conversations going on at the moment.
Yep.
And lovely little pick and pop there. And Te Koha Henare reaps the rewards with a Koruwhiwhi Toru.
Yeah, both teams have really stepped up the communication on defense.
Here is Webster, and it's fouled. And that is going to be bonus time for him. So he's going to get the opportunity to shoot an extra.
What do you reckon? This must be 9, 10, close to double figures free throws for Quake Webster.
Yeah, I think probably, yeah, this would be 9 and 10, I think. Coach asking a good question. I was talking about this before with Ryan Doubledam. Should you reward players for offense creating the contact as opposed to defense?
No. Because, you know, a lot of the game is fit around offense. You know, you got to reward defense if they're standing still and not creating contact. You know, what can you do? What can you do as a defender? It is hard, though. The game is so quick these days that it's a split decision from a referee, and you know they have probably the toughest job in basketball.
Here is Aparima College in a 5-out set. And little floater, no good, tūrapa. There it comes to Te Koha Henare. And a chance to try and get back out to a 10-point lead here for Te Kura Te Koutu. As he rejects the arai and hits a lot of tapa, tūrapa. There goes to Caleb DeProse. just left it behind. Craig Webster. Here come Kura. 3-on-1 and beautiful finish off of the Papamuri.
I've been really impressed with the way that they run the break to Kura to Koutu. They make good decisions. They've created a lot of, 2-on-1s out of their defense and have converted.
And are now there for Aidan Turner, and so Kura to Koutu. Got a hold for the last shot. No good off the tupper. Looking at going full court. That shot's going to be after the buzzer. So we're going to take a quick break here from Fly Palmy Arena, and we're going to come back to you with second half action.
This isn't an ad about four-wheel drives. It's about knowing the place, as well as the locals.
You found the place. That's a good start. Built by my great-grandfather 20 years ago.
One of our biggest problems we have in New Zealand is lack of facilities, the lack of ability for kids to be able to just go in and shoot hoops. But our Hoops in Schools, Hoops in Parks project enables kids to be able to get out there and just have a go, just be able to shoot hoops and have no boundaries, just go out there, have some fun. By not being able to get inside to a lot of facilities, this solves a lot of our problems. We're seeing the hoops that we've already installed just be so well utilised. Every time you drive past the school that's got these hoops in it, there's always kids using them. We know it's going to increase participation in our sport, which is a great thing.
Yeah, Hoops in Schools means to me just a lot of opportunity that when I look back and reflect on my experience at home in Portland, Whangarei, and in the schools, and there wasn't a lot of hoops around, but there was the odd hoop, and we'd always meet there, all the locals, and would have a ball, have fun, and that was a game for all athletes that played all different sports.
It's fantastic to see the ongoing growth of the Hoops in Schools program across the country as we continue to go into different regions. Seeing Tamariki and Rangatahi continuing to have fun through better accessibility is just priceless. And the true value for us is seeing the positive impact it's having across communities here in New Zealand.
It's been absolutely fantastic. We've been able to put 24 hoops into 12 schools right across the province. They were installed a month or so ago, and already we've seen the impact that it's had with kids getting out in there and playing them outside of school hours and the weekends. It's really had a huge impact on the game.
It is good to get into the community today and see the kids just having fun and being able to, have access to these amazing hoops that have been put into new communities, because a lot of schools don't have access to these things.
Now, looking at this initiative with putting a lot more hoops in schools is amazing. I've been to 3 or 4 schools today, and just seeing the faces of this young tamariki has been awesome. And it makes you think about where we're headed and where we've been, and it brings a smile to my face too.
Want to catch a fuel bargain with Caltex and Supergold? Scan your Caltex app, Flybys or Airpoints for 6 cents off per litre with Pumped. And show your Supergold card for an extra 2 cents off. Ah, feels good.
Welcome back here to Fly Palmy Arena. Andrew Horrocks alongside Josh Thompson. Josh, what adjustments do you think Aparima College need to make in the second half to claw their way back into this game?
I just think they need to limit Kura to Koutu's penetration off that on-ball pick and roll. I think if they shore that up and stop, the likes of Leach, Hunia getting to the basket, they should be fine. I think they just need to, shore that up, and we'll give themselves a chance.
From what you've seen of what they've done, what's one way that they could go about doing that?
I think dropping their coverage, obviously, maybe a squeeze and go under, squeeze the big, because obviously when the big isn't actually rolling, so you could actually stay there. Or yeah, like I said, the first one, drop and just clog the paint a little bit.
We are back underway, and talking about penetration, that is what Hawaii Leach can do, and does an amazing job there for Kura to Koutu.
Looked like they tried a little bit of a switch defense there.
Good looking shot on the Kuruwhiwhi Toru, but couldn't convert. And Quake Webster there with the turnover.
A little bit unlucky. I thought he got rid of it just, but, ref's a lot closer than we are.
I was talking about Ryan before about they brought in a rule change in the Spanish ACB League where any inbounds from the backcourt doesn't need to touch a referee for you to be able to go straight away. So it's interesting to see how that goes and if they look to implement it worldwide, because that could seriously A, speed things up, and B, could make some gamesmanship stuff very interesting as Webster off the double spin gets a lot of tapa and can't convert.
Yeah, probably that would be great. It'd speed the game up. You could kind of use it as a strategy.
Oh, what a finish there from young Caleb Deprose.
His mullet's not quite as matured as Turner's has. But
let's not mullet shame here. I cannot talk as well. I'm never going to speak down on someone who can actually grow here. But it'd be just to see the gamesmanship that would come out of that rule. Players start kicking the ball away. With the Kuruwhiwhi Toru hits the tapa, and the tūrapa is going to end up the way of Kura to Koutu.
Yeah, would it bring in that, when you score a basket, you kind of run into the ball as it goes through, just to let it roll, stop. That might come into play a little bit more, or...
I feel like that stuff's always going to end up a tech warning, but it's more, you throw a bad pass. Do you then kick the ball away? Try and slow the other team down or something like that. So, something to watch out of Europe. As that short on the jump shot, little turnaround, and the hara is hit by Aparima College. Onto the line is going to go Te Amora Bennett.
Yeah, I really think also Aparima need to shore up their two-uppers. They're giving away too many offensive rebounds, which I feel is a big problem for both teams, because both teams seem to be getting a lot of offensive rebounds.
No good on the second, and the tūrapa is going to get cleaned up by Aparima College. Here they go out on the break. And right idea, Josh, I don't know if you've noticed it, but there seems to be a lot more unselfishness when going to the hoop, looking for those little drop-off passes than I can remember in previous years.
Yeah, which is great to see, but sometimes you want to be a little bit selfish. I thought Robertson could have laid it up, probably should have with the turnover, but it's great to see the teamwork though,
Tūrapa there cleaned up by Diprose. And Quake Webster, like the shot, and the Kuruwhiwhi Toru is good for Quake Webster. Been a real standout so far for Aparima College.
Yeah, well, we saw him at halftime practicing those, so looks like it's carried over into the third quarter.
And what a move there from Leach. I feel like those two as a beautiful Kuru Whaku for Aidan Turner. Anytime you can run out and get easy buckets, we like it. Here's Quake Webster. You could tell what he was going to do there. Gives it off. And the Kuru Whiwhi Toru, no good. Back into the hands of Webster. Let's see what he can create out of this situation. Fakes the handoff. Spins. Hangs. Leaves that short. Got the tūrapa cleaned up by Henare.
Yeah, nice little move to get into the paint. Yeah, maybe forced it a little bit there. And there's Leach again, just at the rim.
Well, Leach is just sucking the blood out of Aparima College, isn't he?
Yeah.
As they commit the harder though, and so they get a chance to bring this lead back. But they've got to try and figure out. We saw a boxing one earlier on today up against Merrick Rulstone. I wonder if teams will look to do that in this game here.
Yeah, I think, you know, every time Aparima have, you know, clawed their way back, got it within, you know, 5, 6. You know, Leach has just, you know, got a quick 2, you know, as we see there, and he's just keeping them at arm's length.
No good there on the second Kuru Tutuku. Ah, what a pass, and what a finish. Leach thought about the dunk, actually.
Yeah, I saw the little gesture at the end. He's like, I could have.
Could have gone viral. I remember the most viral clip I've seen was, and I shouldn't bring this up when I can't remember his name. It was a guard for Mags a couple of years ago. Oh, Satan Tawera.
Oh, yeah.
Up against Daniel Boyd. I can't remember what it ended up making. It might have been on Ballers Live or something. It had like 800,000 views. It was pretty crazy, but everyone's just commenting, oh, the defender actually just slipped. He didn't actually break his ankle. And again, Aparima College. There seems to be a lot of space on that left-hand side, doesn't it, Josh?
Yeah, they seem to just not be picking up in trans on the wings, and Te Kura Te Koutu just seem to be getting, you know, beelines to the hoop with no resistance whatsoever. They're kind of lucky there that, and we see the, oh, yeah, the little gesture there from Leach.
So we're going to see a timeout on the floor. Looks to be taken here by Aparima College. What do you think they're looking to talk about here, Josh?
I just think they're looking to talk about their transition defense. You know, they've given away 3 open wing drives to the hoop for layups. You know, made 2, and Tahana missed that one there. And, you know, that would be a big major thing that I'll be talking about, is picking up in trans. Because I think they do a good job when they are in their half-court set. And for Te Kura, they just need to keep doing the same thing, pushing in trans. They also need to shore up their transition defense, because Turner and his the mullet has got loose a few times on a few easy transition layups.
I tell you what, talking about great haircuts, Awateri Douglas Caruana, their number 7. It reminds me the old
Mohawk.
Probably 2007 first 15 haircut that went around the country. I can't believe it's coming back in style. Now I'm starting to feel old.
Yeah. Yep, I definitely feel a little bit old. I don't think I ever had it.
More players realising that the big screen is working.
That's, I believe that's Opanaki, girls.
Yeah, we had them on the live stream yesterday.
Yeah. Good to see one of their ex-players coaching.
Is it Savannah Cook?
Yep. And his little sister, I believe, is in the team.
Yeah, is it cousins as well?
It could be.
There's 3 cooks in that team. As we see Hunia there with a nice little floater. Yeah, they're definitely taking away the whole stipulation that you can never have enough cooks in the kitchen.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not a gender joke, that's just the fact that it's their last name. Here is Turner to the hoop, foul. And he's going to shoot a couple. I know we have tournament teams, but I think we need a hair tournament team as well.
Yeah, there's been some pretty impressive ones around. A few traditions that have gone around too. Rosmini keeping to their rookie shaving the head.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with I was having it with Ambrose and then a couple of the parents as well, where I was laughing because a few of them played in a high school tournament in 2020, so they didn't have to shave their head this time. But I was like, you haven't played at a nationals, so I'm not sure that you should escape it or just scrap the whole thing. Whole time a few of the boys having to let go of the curtains that they had growing on their head. There's a big Kurawhiwhi toru for Te Kura o Te Koutu, and now 59-45, just over halfway gone in this third quarter. Boys, single A pool action. And I can't believe how quickly this tournament's going, Josh, because tomorrow in the evening we're going to have semi-final action.
Yep. Obviously, small schools don't have as many teams. I believe it's 12 for the boys.
I think it's 12 each.
12 each? Yeah.
No, is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think a few of the girls' teams pulled out, so they've only got 10. So
I've got 12 boys teams and 9 girls teams.
9 girls teams.
So I've got one pool of 5, one pool of 4 for the girls. It's always, whenever I was doing administration, was my favourite number to have, as it completely screwed everything.
The odd numbers.
Yeah, such is life.
But yeah, we're pretty much into playoffs tomorrow for single A. So
yeah, 2 AA pool games in the morning, starting from 10:45, and then in the evening session, boys and girls single A semi-final. So people always ask me how my voice is going to hold up over 6 days. Well, anytime there's finals footy involved,
yep,
yeah, my voice is going to be gone. But it's good fun. Great find, what a dish off. Another dish off again. And just leaving that one short. I tell you what, even though they're not converting,
they're getting good looks.
Aparima College are creating some good stuff, and you've got to be pleased with that if you're their coach.
Yeah. You know, if I'm Brooke Grimwood, I'm happy with the ball movement and getting to the rim. You know, they just haven't managed to finish a few of those bunnies. And whereas the other side, Te Kura o Te Koutu are just, you know, transition. Getting out and running, getting layups, which is always fun. I always ask my players, what's more fun? Playing a half-court set or getting layups the whole game?
As a coach, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a little bit of artistry in the X's and O's, or?
I like a little bit of both, because I always believe that, you know, you need your offense to create good looks for you when it comes down to it, because you're never going to always get layups, obviously. But if you're getting layups out of your offense and it's beautiful to watch, as a coach, you're not complaining.
I always find it interesting, especially you see it more at regionals, not so much on the nationals level, but those really dominant schools that have got a chance of winning nationals when they play the smaller schools in qualifying.
Yeah.
And they're winning by about 100 points, and you see them just kind of mucking around. As you said, Kurawhiwhi toru for Quake Webster, but not having to work too hard, still winning by 100, and then you get to the end of the tournament when it comes to placings, and those teams are having to work so hard out of the half court to try and eke out even 70 points.
I think this year at under 19s we didn't have many easy games, so we were kind of battle hardened when we got to the final.
Yeah, I saw a few comments on Facebook about how dominant you were in that final.
Yeah, we
won't name names.
Yeah, it was a little bit hurt me a little bit, that one, but it is what it is. Shout out to Waikato and Corps.
Nice Aira there. And a good, again, just some great quick decision making on the rip and drives.
Yeah.
Squaring up to the hoop, no, I don't have a shot, okay, I'm going to go.
And quite decisive too, you know, driving with a purpose. Sometimes when you drive without a purpose, you get kind of lost and confused, and ends up bad for you. But Kura or Koutu, they're playing with a purpose. Yeah, getting to the rim, playing to their strengths. Ooh.
Jump shot is blocked. Here comes Quake Webster. What a kick ahead pass from the young man. And then the Maka Tupana is turned over. Little floater. And Tiki Hunua. Tell you what, they've got some pretty deep bags now, these high school kids, don't they?
Yeah. Like floater wasn't a thing when I was playing. It was, what kind of shot is that? As you see, an offensive foul by Turner. I think he just slightly moved his hip on that one. But
I also found it interesting as well, Josh. I was commentating with Sammy Watkins yesterday. Obviously, he plays a bit of flag football. I saw your phone background is football. I saw the Stack women's coach. Used to be a Division 1 wide receiver.
Yep, Adam.
And then, of course, your good friend James Lisserman as well. I saw he's up commentating in Auckland.
Yep, he was. He was commentating National Flag tournament. He was actually a very good tight end. James Lisserman, strong body, could catch. Funny enough, me and Adam played on the same team here in Christchurch. We were both wide receivers. I played a little bit of quarterback as well. So he is very good at football, I can say. He'll be modest and say his body doesn't move very well, but he can still move on the football field.
Good ball movement here, and the jump shot is good from Karen Tohiariki. Love to see that, don't you? Little ball movement, let it do the work.
Yeah.
Get a good shot.
And those are the shots that I think Aparima need to take. They've been passing them up early in the game.
And that apparently would have counted. So 3/4 time here in boys single A action. Takura Otakotu 69, Aparima College 52. Josh, it is high scoring, which we are loving to see.
Yeah, it kind of opened up there in the third quarter. Quite free flowing. It was, Takura Otakotu's penetration, getting in the paint, getting layups, and Aparima didn't do too badly. They just missed a few easy ones that, could have been the difference right now. But I still think they have a chance. They're doing some good things. Like I said, some of those shots that they passed up, they're starting to shoot now. And the other guys are starting to hit, which will probably ease a little bit of pressure off Quake Webster there a little bit.
As you said, I mean, the shots that Aparima College are taking, if they can convert those, because they're high enough percentage looks, and Takura Otakotu go cold.
Yep.
We could have a very, very tight finish on our hands.
Yeah. Well, we've seen in the past the 20-point lead is not major in today's game because of the 3-point shooting ability of a lot of our kids these days. So, you never know what will happen.
It reminds me of the women's I think it was NBL that year, actually, 2019. We had a 15-point lead with 5 minutes to play. I thought, sweet, I'm about to win my first national title. And then the Purcells decided to take over and we lost in overtime.
I was actually at that game too, so that was impressive. That must have been one of the best women's games I've ever seen.
I think it still is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I feel so gutted about COVID, because the league had got to such a good place.
Yeah.
Then COVID hit, lost a few players to Australia, couldn't bring imports in.
Yeah.
We had the showdown. It was great that we could have something on, and then now I've got the Tauihi League, which is probably a step above what it was. But yeah, it was gutted that 2 years it kind of went into isolation where the women's game was going from strength to strength, and then thankfully now we have Basketball Jesus to save us, and things are looking good as Webster to the hoop.
That's a good finish.
And that is the perfect start there for Aparima College to claw their way back into this boys single A matchup. Looking at results, whoever wins this still has a fighting chance. And the loser, well, that's basically their tournament done in terms of their ability to win the tournament, going straight to semi-finals. It's tough stuff, man. I know Connor O'Fee, when he brought in the prelim quarter-final, has a great finish there once again for Quake Web. So brought in the prelim quarter-final for the double A's.
Yeah.
Maybe they need a prelim semi-final for the single A's.
Yeah, that might be a good incorporation because they play less games, so they could probably throw in another one for them. And I think, shout out to Connor, that was a great idea. Bringing in the prelim, you know, because it is tough, especially if you get caught with some of the teams that you see, and you know you might be better than some of the other teams in different pools, so it gives you a fighting chance. So I think that was probably one of the best ideas that they've done.
What a finish there on the M1 from Hawaii Leach. Yeah, I was chatting to Westlake assistant coach Josh Davis, and they lost to Nelson College by 2 yesterday, so they're in a bit of a do-or-die situation up against Mags. Have to win that.
Yeah, that'd be a good game.
I'm trying to think, actually, if they don't make the quarterfinals, well, if they don't make
the prelims?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
First time in a while?
2012, I think they finished 12th in 2017 because James Moores went down injured. Other than that, I remember 2008, they finished 9th and they lost one game.
Yeah.
Because they had a count back, which went against them. And they lost that game to St. Patrick's Kilburney, who ended up going on to win the tournament. Actually, no, I think they beat them in pool play and then lost to the other team. And then that count back knocked them out.
Yeah, so that having that third spot is great now, and you know, like if you have to play another game, you have to play another game. If you're second place, you're a bit, you know, disappointed because you have to play another game, but I just think it's a better concept, and you kind of get the better teams fighting it out to get into that quarterfinal spot, you know what I mean?
Great defense there from Aparima College, forcing that turnover, but no, I 100% agree. Nothing worse, like, especially when you got a few upsets. Like, I don't know, obviously when you come on these tournaments, you don't see other zones as much.
Yeah.
I've never seen New Plymouth play for a couple of years. They took down Auckland Grammar, who a lot of teams were looking at them and saying that's going to be a tough team to beat. And then they went ahead and won that one, so Auckland Grammar are now probably going to end up in that prelim quarter-final section.
Aparima have a chance to get it almost down to single digits.
Oh, almost the perfect turnaround pass there from Marley Grimwood.
I actually have been impressed with Marley Grimwood. He's the one that's been the chatter on the defense, talking to guys. I don't know if you can hear him, but you know, there he is there yelling out.
As the Kuruwhiwhi Toru for Te Koha Henare. And that crushes the hearts a little bit of Aparima College as he rejects the Arai. Little jump shot, long off the tapa. And here come Te Kura Koutu. Maybe time for one of their runs, Josh?
Yeah, you'd expect it to come from, you know, Leach or a Hunia. As I say, Leach gets a tip there.
Great wall-up defense and almost off the tupper. That one was going to roll in, but not to be. And so with 6.5 minutes to play, Aparima College are going to have to start putting together a really good run to give themselves an opportunity of winning this game. As Webster behind the back. And he will keep the ball.
Yeah, he's feeling the pinch a little bit there. You see him hunched over on his knees. Been really impressed. Oh, a little bit of a mental breakdown there. just on the football standard, Sammy Watkins has great hands. He can catch anything, that boy.
Is he? He seems like it.
He can catch. He had a nice one-hander in the weekend, so impressive.
He didn't talk about that. He was very humble.
Yeah, no, it was a good one-hander. I was impressed.
I always find it funny as well that he's got the same name. As you see, the Kurufifi Toru attempt, no good. As an NFL wide receiver, Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins.
At Kansas City this year?
He was last year.
Was he in Baltimore?
I think he's in Baltimore, yeah.
Strange team, that team this year.
Yeah. I'm happy with my team. They're 4-0, so I can't complain.
Yeah, it's crushing. I'm a Finns fan. And after 3-0, everyone's like, you must be stoked. And I'm like, nah, they're going to fall apart at some point. And then the unfortunate timing of that Tuatanga Vailoa concussion has brought things crashing back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, it's a big thing, I think.
As the harder there committed by Te Kura o Te Koutu.
Talking about concussions, we really need to bring that into our game a little bit, I think. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, I think we're going in the right direction in player safety, but concussions are quite massive these days in terms of, any sport. Obviously bigger in the contact sport, but how do you feel it works in our sport? Concussion protocols.
Because I haven't really seen it in terms of age group stuff. But I mean, yeah, now you've kind of got to err on the side of caution. I remember getting a couple playing rugby and was just told to play on. And now I look back at it, I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't even remember the second half of those games.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same too.
Well, that's why my commentary's a bit slow from time to time. Lasting effects. As we see an M1 situation here for Hawaii Leach. And you talk about tournament teams, Josh. I think he might be one that could end up.
Oh yeah, he's putting his name up there. But like I say, every time Aparima have had a chance to come back, Leach has always been there to, cut their runs, big baskets. They're right there finishing the M1 there.
Shout out as well to Geordie from the BBNZ office, who's just let me know that he's also a Dolphins fan. So I share your misery. We were only born 30 years too late to miss the glory years of that franchise, as we see a lovely steal and finish from Tiki Hunia. Another one has been a serious bright spot here for Te Kura o Te Koutu.
Yeah, he was getting to the rim early. Obviously wasn't finishing, but now he's, found his touch. He had a couple good floaters in the third. And
tell you what's interesting to see though, Te Kura o Te Koutu, they finished 5th in qualifying in the North Islands. That must have been a seriously tough pool to get out of.
Oh yeah, for sure. Talking to Monukura's coach, Tia Frost.
Is that Joe's son?
Yeah. He's saying that they won and their pool was tough, but you doubt the cards you are when you come to these things, and we always thought.
Lovely finish there on the lob pass for Caleb DePro. Sorry, you would go ahead, Josh.
Oh, when we came in 2018, we kind of just looked at it as we've got 3 teams that can make the semi-finals in our pool, so we just got to win and do what it is. And
Webster with a beautiful Kurufifi Toru.
We ended up in one of those countbacks.
I was chatting to BBNZ before. I was like, Pool B. Was it Pool B? I think it was Pool B. Let me have a look at it for the boys.
Yeah, that's going to be a countback.
Oh, Pool C was the one where I was like, yep, you're going to have to get your calculators out. You're going to have some long nights when you're sitting in that McDonald's queue still at midnight and it's backed up 20 cars. I can't believe it. I've never seen a place where the queue for any machine in the gym is nothing, and the queue for all the fast food is ridiculously long.
Yeah.
And yet I have not seen any fat person in Palmerston North yet. I don't know how this works.
They're probably just hiding from you.
Like everyone else in the world. I'll tell you what though, Kura, probably one of the best sharply dressed coaching outfits I've always seen.
Oh, yeah, their coaches are always dressing immaculate. I actually had a bet going one year in 2000. No, when I first came with Ellesmere, they saw a bunch of coaches in suits, and they asked me why I wasn't wearing one. And I was really cheeky, and I said, when you make the final, I'll wear a suit.
I'm pretty sure, actually, this... did you wear a suit for the final, though?
I wore a suit for the final.
Good man.
Yeah.
I remember Josh Davis, there was a game, he was coaching the Rangitoto girls, where they're like, if we win this game, will you wear a suit next game? And I think they won it, but he refused for any photos to be leaked of that. Not a fan of a suit, Josh.
I'm definitely not a fan either. The only thing they couldn't take away, I wore my Jordans in the final with my suit.
What ones did you end up going for?
I think I wore my Jordan 4s.
Ooh, what colorway? Another 3 there for Quake Webster.
It was a blue suit, so I think I wore my military 4s.
Ooh. Those are tough. Great little spin move up and no good. Turapa comes away for Aparima College.
Ooh.
Oh, nearly the kindest of bounces off the tapa. Not to beat. Just under 2.5 here to play. And I talked about best haircuts. The haircut to shot ratio on that one, just a little bit off there for Douglas Karauna. And good pack for Grimwood, one of your favourite players, Josh?
Yep. I just love the energy that he brings, you know. And don't you have to have those guys in your team, right? The energy guys.
Another near miss there for Douglas Karauna. Well, I think about it, I can't even remember his name, but there was a young man for St. Kennigan's in 2019 that did not look like a basketball player, but was by far their best player off the bench and probably helped seal them the championship, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember that one. I can't remember who that was.
Neither, and it actually annoys me. He almost made the tournament team.
Yeah.
I was pushing for him to make the tournament team. Another kick ahead. Grimwood off glass and finishes.
I think they left their run a little bit too late. Aparima did, but you know, it's good to see them still fighting to the end and not giving up. You know, they're still working hard on defense.
Oh, yes, he finally gets it. Douglas Karauna, the young man. It reminds me a little bit, Josh, on the 3x3.exe, Ona Haku would always put the highlights on the private Instagram story. So anytime he was trying anything flashy, as Quake Webster almost went behind the back with the shot, you knew that that was going to end up on Instagram the next day.
Yep.
Rejects the on-ball, step back. And now, I tell you what, that would have been on the private Instagram story. For Quake Webster, gets the rebound back. A little left-hand pass. And the Kurufifi Toru is left short. 40 seconds to play here in boys single A action. And we're nearly done actually with our pool games. We've only got 3 to go after this. One more A game, 2 double A's, and then it's finals footy. And so 25 seconds to play. Good kick ahead pass, no good.
And Kura or Koutu give themselves a fighting chance to make the top 4.
With this victory, yep.
Yep.
It might need a couple of results to go their way, but could have a chance. And are they going to try and score here? No, they're just going to do the sporting thing and hold it up.
It out.
So our final score here is going to be Kura Otakotu 90, Aparima College 72. We're going to have a quick break as we have another look at that gorgeous 3 from Aratwedi, Douglas Karauna, and we're going to be back with the second game at 7:30 p.m.
Okay, guys, price yourself. You've got one of those. Ladies and gentlemen,
This isn't about what we wore back in the day.
we're going to go now. Going once, going twice, no more offers. Sold!
It's about being trusted to get a better result for our clients since 1973.
Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex.